We had a question. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Sunny Side. I'm Sunny. I'm answering one of the questions live right now on the channel. So just to remind everybody, I'm a professional astrologer. Do write the horoscopes for some of the newspapers. If you want a personal reading, message me above. Blah, 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 blah. It's in the description box below. In addition to all of that, I have tons of live streams where I read the horoscopes to you guys before they come out in the newspaper. Anyways, we also have Q&A. And this is one of the questions that came up. Our moderator here, Lucy Lou, asked me a really good question. She says, what if you have Mercury retrograde in your birth chart? How is that going to affect you normally in life? And how is that going to affect you under Mercury retrograde? Because she says when Mercury is retrograde, everything seems to make more sense for her. Good things happen to her when Mercury is retrograde. When in other situations, for other people, they complain about Mercury retrograde. And I just saw a thing where, I just saw a posting or something where people were saying, oh, Mercury retrograde, they feel extra emotional. Not necessarily. I think they're just full of shit. I gotta be honest with you. To be quite sincerely, they're full of shit. And so remember, a lot of people use, one of the first things I learned when I was studying, different stuff was that people, okay, whatever, let me calm down. but it is true. There's a lot of people out there who, like, on one hand, the energy of the day gets people a little this or a little that, and I do explain it to you. You can have a square, anyways, Mercury retrograde isn't, people are using, okay, so let's start this over again. I'm going blah, blah, blah. And here's the deal with Mercury retrograde. And yeah, a lot of people use it for excuses. People say, there are a lot of car accidents under Mercury retrograde. And they're like, they blame it on Mercury retrograde. I'm like, you can't drive and you blaming it on Mercury retrograde? You're not paying attention and you blame it on Mercury retrograde? It's like saying, it's like when people, they become unfaithful. They're like, you're blaming Mercury retrograde because you can't control your shit. You went and dropped your pants and you blaming Mercury retrograde? How dumbass shit is that? Like, seriously? You blaming Mercury retrograde because you went and go cheat on your partner? I'm like, how stupid donkey is that? And like, but seriously, it happens all the time. And right now, under Mercury retrograde, it's happening a lot. People are blaming everything on Mercury retrograde instead of taking responsibility for their own actions. And, if you were Mercury retrograde, how would you like it? How would you like it if people were blaming you for, anyone? Anyways, people do whatever they're going to do, and they're going to find an excuse for it afterwards. And right now, the popular excuse is Mercury retrograde. But let's get back to the question at hand. So Luce was asking, what's the deal with if you're born under Mercury retrograde? How's that going to affect everything? And there are other planets that go retrograde. And we were talking last night, and there are other planets that go retrograde. And she's saying, why is everyone blaming Mercury retrograde instead of the other ones? And it's because it's easy. People like an easy excuse, an easy excuse for bad behavior. And Mercury's the popular kid. So and so people are blaming the popular kid. And that's what's going on. Just like when there's a full moon, people blaming the popular kid on the full moon. Can't keep your shit together? Blame the full moon. You're not paying attention? Blame Mercury retrograde. That's just the action. But here's the deal that's going on. I'm going to use these guys to explain everything. In life, and I tell you guys this all the time, there's like a way. There's a way to follow. And Annie H just brought an interesting point up. We were talking about the way and different, philosophies of life and different things. And Annie H said, water always follows the path of least resistance. And that's a really good point. But there's more to it than that. I know I'm getting sidetracked with Mercury retrograde, but try and, hang into the story here. So water is not the only thing that follows the path of least resistance. If air is coming along, air follows the path of least resistance as well. Just saying. When something is rolling, Earth in a boulder, a rock rolling down the hill, it rolls down the hill and follows the path of least resistance as well. They all, the path. It doesn't. The path of least resistance is not limited to water. It's not, and so, to say so, kind of devalues the importance of the other elements. I'm just saying, and I'm just saying. So, it's a nice philosophy for a long time, but as we move through life, we learn more about different things, and Annie H is a really, smart and valued member of the Sunny Side. I'm just explaining certain things and how philosophies evolve over time. And, when we recognize certain things, we can see certain things. Now, here's the deal with Mercury and what's going on. In life right now, there are a whole bunch of planets out there, and the planets are cruising through and putting their energy in things. And it's happening in different areas, and different planets astrologically are responsible for different types of, incentives, so to speak, for whatever reason, right? I'm not here to talk about anything funky or mystical or to solve every single question in the planet right now. I'm just explaining Mercury retrograde and some of the choices that you have in your life and some of the natural cycles that we go through in life. It's not such a big deal, but it's kind of a big deal. And remember, nothing has to be anything unless you make it something. Just remember that, nothing is nothing unless you make it something. And so let's say we've got some energy that's cruising in, and there are different energies that you could follow in the chart. Say there's Venus, the energy of beauty, of attraction and good stuff. Venus is cruising along like this, and you can be, hey, let's follow Venus. Hey, Venus is doing some beautiful stuff. Venus is attracting. You know what? I'm going to focus on Venus today, and I'm going to focus on the good things in my life. I'm going to focus on love and happiness. Sometimes Venus is in a good mood. Yay! The sun's in harmony with Venus. The sun's shining a light on Venus, and you're like, Venus is feeling good. Hey, what's up, Sunny? Yo, Venus, what's the sava? I'm good, player. We just grooving along. We're going to go to the beach today and have a picnic, maybe a glass of wine and enjoy the day together. You want to come along? Hell yeah, I want to surf that energy. Let's do it. Sometimes the sun is square Venus, and you're like, Venus is not getting warmed by the sun the way she likes it. Hey, Sunny. Hey, Venus, what's up? Sunny, don't bug me. I crabby today. I ain't attracted to nothing. I'm not attracted. It's just one of those days, Sunny. All right, that's cool, Venus. You'll be cool. Maybe I ain't gonna follow you today. You go do your thing, and we go catch your action on the mañana. All right, and so that's the deal. So that's what happened, Venus energy. But there's more. Maybe you want to handle Mars energy. Mars, the big bad guy. Rah, Sonny, what's up? Yo, Sonny, what's up? I can go fuck somebody up. Okay, all right. So maybe you want to, some days you want to follow Mars energy, and some days Mars is in harmony with other things. They're like, Sonny, hey, yo, player, what's up, Mars? Hey, I want to go antiquing. You want to go antiquing? I want to go antiquing. I want to go find some antiques, and I want to look at them. I want to find a really old chair, and I want to sit down. What? What? Yeah, that's so. Okay, you do that. Okay, you go that. Or sometimes you're in a situation when you're like, or sometimes Mars is. It depends what you're. Sunny, what are you doing today? I'm gonna go make a lot of money today. They're like, all right, that's cool. That's cool as well. You're gonna go make lots of money. That's the situation. You're gonna go make lots of money. All right, or say you're gonna go on a vacation. Hell yeah, I'm going to go on a vacation today, Sunny. Whoa! And it's where you're going to put a lot of energy in there. Now, sometimes when you put a lot of energy into something, it causes problems, right? I'm going to go to that. And sometimes this guy, this Mars energy can disrupt things. And if put it into relationships. I love you so much. I love you so much. Oh, I love you so much. I love you so much. Yo, back the fuck up. And so that's sometimes is a little too much and it causes problems, Just saying. But you can follow the Mars energy. Yeah, I got to get out in the public. I got to do some spring cleaning. Oh, I got to take care of my health. I got to go to the gym and work out. Okay, Mars energy's got to stay in place. How about you've got, So there's lots of different energies out there. And so now it's up to you which energies you want to follow at which time, you know? And so if there's Jupiter, luck, I'm going to follow the luck. I'm lucky like this today, you know? I'm lucky today. That's a good thing. I'm going to go explore I recognize I'm lucky today. I'm going to go buy a lottery ticket. You know? Recognize the energy as it is in front of you. You can recognize you're aggressive today. Oh, I think I'm going to go to the gym. You can recognize you're attracting things today. Oh, I'm going to put myself in the path of progress. You know, you have to figure it out. Oh, I recognize that I'm a little moody today. I have desires. And so I'm going to go put myself into the path of progress and explore my desires today. It all depends on what it is that you want to do. There are different energies, you know, that are flowing through us at all of the times, and the planets represent different energies, and they do different things. Just like you turn the water on, you turn the water off. Sometimes the water's hot, sometimes the water's cold, sometimes it's just right. Just saying that. Now, watch this action here. Imagine that energy, okay, and as they flow through life, you can decide which energies that you want to follow. All right, okay, so we got that. Now, when you're born, a picture is taken in time. And that's what you intrinsically are predisposed to encounter, so to speak. And it's not really a big deal. Like, let's say you're born in Aries, you know, and then, not to get too funky bananas about this, but I'm going to lay some, maybe a hypothetical scenario on you guys. So the first 3 months of your life, if you're born in Aries, you're smelling spring. You're smelling get out there. You're smelling growth. You're associated with growth. The sun is getting warmer on your body every single day. Each day it's warmer and warmer and warmer. And that imprints upon you. If you're like, this is fucking obvious. You guys don't know this already? Okay. And so later on in life, smell brings you back, right? It's a major trigger. And say you're born and the sun brings you back. The memory of the days getting warmer take you back, and they resonate with you, with your natural energies that you were born with. In addition to that, there's a if you were born, say, in November, say you're a Scorpio, every day is getting colder and colder and colder as you're born, and you're like, holy smoke, that's what you're born with, So these are these stamps that and the astrology isn't telling you that that's what's going on. It's just a time, and it's like, okay, whatever, Sunny. Let's get back to the question. So these planets are all in different directions. Venus is going like this, Mars is going like this, Mercury's going like this, woo! Mercury's goofing around. And then we get the situation say you're born with Mercury retrograde. So the energies are going like this, right? Everything is cool. And now, Mercury retrograde isn't really going backwards in the chart. There's it doesn't go backwards in the sky. There's it's from your perspective, it looks like it's going backwards in relation to everything else. And it's because of the orbits. If you don't know this, you should probably go watch something else, And so, but that's, and I'll explain that another time. When I do my astrology for fucking idiots video. But for right now, let's talk about Mercury retrograde. And then, so here's what's going on. So imagine the situation, you're born and your energies, the snapshot of what you're experiencing in life is your birth chart. And normally, everything is going on like this. Everything is flowing like this. Everything is doing its thing. Everything is going like this. And so in life, there's a way. There's a way. There's a way to do it. This is getting back to what we were talking earlier about water finding the path of least resistance. All right. And so, but everything is looking for the path of least resistance. Everything is trying to find the way. You know, you don't have to be like water. You don't have to be like earth. You don't have to be like fire. You just have to be like you. That's all you have to do. Find your way. And that's how it works out. And so, in the situation, so now here's the deal. In the way, it's a path. You know, and there are these walls. There's avarice, there's profusion, there's good, there's evil, there's right, there's wrong, there's yes, there's no, there's black, there's white. You know, and what happens is, just to let you guys know, there's still a real telephone here. And so, in the situation, you know, there's a tendency for people to want to lean on these walls as they move through life. Most people don't flow, right? Very few people just flow with the energy that's around them. And they, once again, most people move through life like this. And they bump on this good and bad. Let's just say the two walls are good and bad, or good and evil, or whatever you want to call them. Yeah, there's a real telephone here. and so sometimes the walls, like if the path is going up, sometimes people lean on the wall to help them up the path. Sometimes when the path is going down, they have to lean on the wall to help them up and down, you know, the undulations in their journey, whether they're ascending or they're going down. When they're moving up to a new level, let's just say, you know, metaphorically moving up, you know, they want to lean on something, you know, they do good for others and they think it brings them up, or they doing bad things to others and they think it brings them up, you know. And so you know, that's some of the possibilities. And now that's what happens. You don't need to do any of that, but you're going through it, right? But so you're going through life, and sometimes they lean on the good, they lean on the bad. But in life, you're not supposed to spend your whole life leaning on one. If you're too good, you know, people are going to take advantage of you. Bad things happen to you. The wall is going to come and find you. You're supposed to go this way, you know, your way. If you're always leaning on the wall of too good, then your path is going to go like this, and the bad is going to come and get you. If you're too bad all the time, say you're a real bad person, the good's going to come and pull you up, you know, it's going to come to get you. You're not supposed to lean on the wall. You're supposed to live your life. And I've said it a million times, all you got to do in your life, and you don't have to go looking for your destiny. Your destiny's trying to find you. You just have to step out from behind the veils and then sing your song so that your destiny can come and get you. It's not that freaking difficult. But it also takes a lot of, you know, confidence. You have to have a lot of faith in what you're doing. You have to have faith and belief in your way. Now watch this. Let's put it all together now. So as you're flowing through this life energy and following, you know, whatever energy you want to follow on that day, you can focus on the negative. Nothing's wrong with focusing on the negative, you know. You can focus on the positive. You can focus on love. You can focus on, you know, conflict. You can focus on whatever you want. And sometimes, okay, now everything is going like this. The walls are going like this and everybody's bumping up against it. Oh yeah, you walk in life like this and go bump. Oh geez, yeah, faster. Let's go on that way. Oh yeah, oh shit, I'm lucky. Let's go over there. Or oh, this is going to happen like that. All right, now, when a planet starts to go retrograde, it's not actually, here, this is Mercury. It's not actually traveling backwards like that. It's just slowing down. It's just going, it's actually going like this. But whatever, I'll explain that another day. Let's just imagine it's going backwards so you're cruising like this, and then suddenly you're going forward, and then suddenly the planet, just as an example, it's going backwards, and it bumps you, and you're like, oh shit, and you're thrown out. You're like, oh frig. And it doesn't matter the planet. You know, if it's like, you know, it doesn't matter. So you're going this way, you're surfing the forward momentum energy of the universe, and suddenly a planet goes retrograde, and it bumps you, and you're like, oh, you're throwing off your game. And that's what's going on during Mercury retrograde. You're just throwing, you know, it's just going to bump, and you know, if Saturn is retrograde, if Mars is retrograde, let's go, Sunny, let's go have some fun, let's go, you know, if Mars goes retrograde, you're like, boom, player, what's up? You know, player, what's up? You're throwing me off my game. And that's what happens when a planet goes retrograde. All right. Now, what if you're born with a planet retrograde? As you surf through life, you're walking through, you're cruising through your scene, and you're like, don't, I got this. What's up? Yeah, I'm on this. I was born for this. And sometimes we don't cruise through life like this. We cruise through life. Yo, what's up? We're orbiting and we're growing. And say, intrinsically, inside your vibe, your perspective, your veils, you have a predisposition to recognize things around you through your own, let's call it multivariable equation. And one of the things in the equation is naturally like this. You're seeing life like this. So you're cruising along and I go, everything cool. And now, so you're naturally living your life expecting and seeing and perceiving and communicating, because it's Mercury, right? In this kind of way. You're like, and so you're not cruising through life like this. We all aren't cruising. You're like this. Right? Or you're like, or like, everybody's cruising through life with a different vibe. And so your vibe, if your vibe, everybody's vibe might be going like this. If you're born with Mercury direct, your vibe is going like this. If you're born with Mercury retrograde, your vibe is like this. And so when Mercury is normal cruising along, when the energies are cruising along and they're like, boom, oh yeah, player, let's go. Boom, oh yeah, player, we on this. Oh yeah, boom, oh, wait for me, I'm coming. Or they're like, boom, 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 yeah, I'm coming, player, let's go, let's get this action happening. Mercury is going, the planets are like, you're going, woo, this is what's happening. And once again, if it goes retrograde, you're like, boom, oh, what the donkey on that one. But like, if you're born like this, let's say you're born with a retrograde happening, and they're coming along, every time it happens, it's going to bump you. Mercury's always bumping you. If you're born with a planet retrograde, the natural forward energy is bumping against your energy constantly. And that's what's going on. So you're out of sync, so to speak. Those born with retrograde, there's more to it. It's a little, it can be just, I like to think of it as concentrated energy, but I'm just giving this example right now. So if you're born with Mercury retrograde, the vibe of the day is, you're like, what the hell? You're always screwed. So you think differently. Now, when Mercury goes retrograde in the sky, when most people are getting bumped the wrong way, boom, hey, what's a hey, I'm meditating here. Hey, this is my way. What the hell's going on? Right? Then, but if you're born with Mercury retrograde and you're like, it comes at you like, shoom, hey, yeah, no kidding, playa, I totally got that. You'll be cool on your, let's follow that vibe like here. Let's go, and let's move through, Let's do our thing. Let's go through. And that's the deal. So when you're born with a Mercury retrograde, and Mercury goes retrograde during the life, your life, every time Mercury, suddenly the energy around you is in harmony with the way you like to receive the energy. Remember, we talk, when we talk about languages of love, it's not enough to say say I love you to your partner. It's not enough to show. So it's not enough to just show your partner that you love them. Sometimes you have to say the words as well. You can't just love the person. Why won't you love me? Why don't you love me? But like, I do, baby. It's not the scene. All right, you have to express yourself in the way that your partner receives it. There's no sense in doing everything. They're just not going to respect you. They're going to be like, you can do everything in the world to try and get through to your partner, but if you're not speaking their language of love, they ain't going to get it, right? And they're going to think you don't love them, you don't respect them, and blah, blah, and blah, blah. It's the same kind of what the astrology is, Same kind of thing with the astrology. If you're like this, on a regular day, you're like banging up, the world doesn't get you. If you're born with a Mercury retrograde, you just see things differently. That's just the way it is. And the world doesn't understand you. That's just the way it is. You're going to communicate in a major effed up way. That's just the way it is. And it takes a real special person to understand something. We talk about unconditional love. Oh, I love you anyways. No, it's not the point. You have to understand what the other person's saying, you know? You have to understand them. You have to speak their language, you know? Otherwise you're not speaking their language, and that's just the way it is. So if you're born with a Mercury retrograde, then, you know, you're always fighting the vibe. It's just the way it is. You get used to it. You know, you get used to being different. You know, there's nothing wrong with being different. You just get used to it. You get used to the world not understanding you. You get used to, you know, you just get used to it. But when Mercury goes retrograde, you're now in your element. You now understand what's going on, even though everyone else is, oh, what the hell? Oh, what the hell? You know? And they're blaming Mercury retrograde because they can't keep their shit together, and they're like numpties who don't recognize that it's time to shift gears, right? Acceleration, not speed. Then, you know, in times of retrograde, you cool. And that's just the action. So what did we learn today? One, it's not about, so first, it's all normal, is one. And by normal, I mean it's happening all the time. It doesn't mean right or wrong, it means it's normal. We learn that you can follow whatever energy that you want. You can follow whatever planet that you want to during whatever day. And we learn that if you're born in a certain situation, that's the situation that you're going to vibe with. You know, that's your vibe. And it's up to you to fit your puzzle into the vibe of the day. And we've learned that when Mercury goes retrograde, the vibe of the day changes. And if you don't adjust your vibe, you're going to get your action knocked out because the world is under a particular vibe. That's just what's happening. If it's raining outside and you don't wear a raincoat, you're going to get your ass wet. Duh. Okay. And so you got to adjust your vibe. And for those born with a, you know, when Mercury goes retrograde, those who are born with a Mercury retrograde, the vibe links in, and suddenly it's a much easier day for them. And for people who are born with these things in their chart, you know, I feel for you. Like, I know what it's like to have, you know, to have situations where, you know, the world doesn't get you. But that's the action. And that's what happens when people are born under Mercury retrograde. And that's what happens. With what else is going on? We learned that there's no excuse for bad behavior. Mercury retrograde, you know, doesn't necessarily make you more emotional. It makes you want to blame Mercury because you can't control your shit. That's what it means. It doesn't mean you're going to go smash up the car. It means you can't freaking drive. So you're blaming Mercury retrograde. You know, it doesn't mean you're going to buy a bad computer. It means you're not going to pay the attention. You're not going to pay attention to what you're doing. That's all it means. That's all it means. And we use Mercury retrograde for timing, you know, because there's more to it. There are these cycles in life. But today we're not talking about cycles. We're just talking about what it means to be born under Mercury retrograde and what happens what happens to someone born under Mercury retrograde, what happens to those guys during life when there is a Mercury retrograde. And that's the action. I hope that clears some things up from anybody. That's the action from the SunnySider.net. I'm Sunny, wishing everyone the absolute best of a super beautiful day. Sunny, this is Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde. Let's go to the beach. Let's go to the beach. Sunny, can we go to the eye doctor now? Yeah, playlist. Let's go to the eye doctor. Thanks. Okay. And that's the action. I'm Sunny. Actually, wishing you guys the best of a beautiful week. And I'll see you guys soon.